Fukamushi Sencha benefits are something that a lot of tea drinkers are interested in. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what Fukamushi Sencha is and why you may want to start drinking it. We'll also compare it to other more popular types of Japanese green tea to see what makes it so unique. Before we get started, it would really mean a lot to us if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for future tea videos. We have hundreds of videos on all sorts of topics related to Japanese green tea, but for this episode, we're going to focus on Fukamushi Sencha specifically. Without further ado, let's dive into the world of Fukamushi Sencha. So before we get into the Fukamushi Sencha benefits, let's briefly discuss what Fukamushi Sencha is. After tea leaves are picked, they begin to oxidize immediately, and they will eventually turn into a black tea. If a farmer wants to produce a green tea, he will need to stop this oxidation process from taking place, which will allow the tea leaves to retain more of their natural vegetal flavors and their green color. To prevent this oxidation process from taking place, the farmer can apply heat to the tea leaves in order to deactivate the enzymes that cause oxidation. In Japan, they will put the tea leaves through a short steam bath that usually lasts between 60 and 90 seconds. This will be used to produce a normal steamed sencha or chumushi. A farmer can also produce a short steamed or asamushi sencha with less than 60 seconds of steaming, or a deep steamed fukamushi sencha with over 90 seconds of steaming. All it takes is just a few extra seconds of steaming to unlock a plethora of Fukamushi Sencha benefits, and we're going to discuss those later. First, let's talk about the color of Fukamushi Sencha. One of the Fukamushi Sencha benefits is that the tea takes on this vibrant green color. This may not seem like a huge benefit, but there's something aesthetically pleasing about seeing this jade green tea swirl around in the glass. This green color comes from the smaller leaf particles making their way through the filter and into the glass. You will notice more of this green color in the second and third infusions of the tea. The first brewing of a Fukamushi Sencha will take on more of this standard yellowish green hue that you may be familiar with from a normal Sencha. This is one of the many reasons why it's important not to throw away your tea leaves after the first brewing. Not only do you get a greener color from the later brewings, you also get a completely different flavor. While the first brewing of the tea has much more of this sweetness, the later brewings can actually have a more powerful flavor overall. Let's move on from the color of Fukamushi Sencha and talk a little bit more about the flavor. Another one of the Fukamushi Sencha benefits has to do with the flavor of the tea. As you may already know, one of the main differences between Chinese and Japanese green teas is that Chinese green teas are heated in a pan after harvest and Japanese green teas are steamed. This is one of the main factors that contributes to the differences between these two teas. While Chinese green teas take on more of these cooked tasting notes like nuts, caramel, or even fruit, Japanese teas tend to have more of these steamed vegetable flavors from the steaming process. Tasting notes like edamame, baby spinach, and even seaweed come to mind when describing the flavors of Japanese green teas. The deep steam tea takes these flavors into an even stronger direction. Fukamushi Sencha drifts further into the steamed vegetable direction, and the tea becomes bolder and more full-bodied overall. Even though the flavor has become more powerful, there is actually less bitterness. The bitterness seems to be reduced slightly through the longer steaming process, which is one of the many Fukamushi Sencha benefits. Some Fukamushi Sencha teas can even pick up these fruity flavors, particularly when they're prepared as a cold brew. This brings us to another one of the benefits of Fukamushi Sencha, and that is that the tea works incredibly well as a cold brew. The cold water reduces the bitterness of the tea even further, and with some Fukamushi Senchas like the Fukamushi Yamaga, it can even bring out the fruitiness of the tea, giving you these pleasant lychee berry notes. The reason why cold brewed Fukamushi Sencha is less bitter has to do with the catechins. Catechins are the components within the tea leaf that give the tea its bitter flavor. Luckily for lovers of sweet teas, these components are harder to extract and they require either a hotter temperature or a longer time. This is why when you boil green tea, you end up with an extremely bitter taste. Cold brewing is the opposite. When you use cold water, you end up with a cool, refreshing drink that you can enjoy on a hot day without all the bitterness. Being a great cold brewed tea is yet another one of the many Fukamushi Sencha benefits. Try it out for yourself next time and let us know what you think. Finally, we come to a topic that's interested a lot of people, and that is the caffeine content of Fukamushi Sencha. It is possible that because more leaf material is released into the cup, Fukamushi Sencha will have a higher caffeine content than a normal Sencha. This follows a similar concept to Matcha, a powdered green tea that is mixed directly into water. The more leaf material that makes it in the cup, the more compounds within the leaf you end up consuming. If you're interested in getting some Fukamushi Sencha for yourself, we would recommend trying the Murasaki Sencha from Mr. Kawaji. Mr. Kawaji is a talented farmer in southern Japan, and he specializes in the production of these deep steam teas. He produces these teas on a small farm in the countryside without the use of pesticides or chemicals. When you order tea from us, you're not only helping to support this channel, but also helping us to support the dozens of talented farmers we work with all around Japan. We hope that by sharing these farmers' stories and their teas with people all around the world, we can help to transition the tea industry into a more positive, sustainable direction. If you have any questions about green tea or tea in general, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you next time.